imena kumurimo nufura gusenga no kubana neza ngabire nziza ya mudasunga ngabire nziza ya mudasunga mudasubira uri musuruzagabo mari shinjagira nukema gaururere imana
He currently serves as the Vice Chancellor of VI-A-VIS, a prominent university of applied sciences in Rwanda. In addition to being a Catholic priest from Ruhengeri Diocese in Rwanda, he has 22 years of experience in leadership, formation, and formal education. Dr. Baribeshya obtained his PhD in philosophy of mind with a research thesis titled The Brain-Mind Interaction in John A. Course. He also holds a master's degree in science and metaphysics from the University of the Holy Cross in Rome, Santa Croce, Italy, as well as a master's in entrepreneurship and development with specialization in developing countries. Dr. Baribeshya is an alumnus of Acton Institute, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and received his priestly formation in both Rwanda and Zambia. He has served as a priest in Rwanda, Italy, and Germany, and has worked as a lecturer of the philosophy of religion, conducting research in education and culture. Additionally, he is an author with various books and articles to his name, including The Brain-Mind Interaction John A. Course. Has also written another book, My Journey to Priesthood, Humanity is Mercy, and he has contributed also and wrote an article, Kurabuza and Guterekera, its past and its future. He has also written Thomas Aquinas on Human Nature, the science behind what makes us unique. And you know that very recently he has published another book, a huge book, which has the title, John Eccles and Thomas Aquinas on Human Nature, the science behind what makes us unique. Reverend Father Ephraim Senani, the Dean of Studies in this major seminary. Reverend Father Ephraim Nawiheba, the lecturer in this seminary. Dear sisters here present, gentlemen, please help me to welcome Father Dr. Baribeshya, the speaker of today.
Thank you very much, Reverend Father, the Dean of Studies, dear fathers formators here at the Kabgayi Philosophicum, dear seminarians. I want to say brothers and sisters. I do not know if you have sisters here, but I see one. Good evening.
Good evening.
The English people start the evening around 17:30. So this is still the afternoon, not the evening. But I think we can also say evening. So I am delighted to be here to share with you some insights. These two fathers here, Ephraim and Orest, asked me to come and share with you some thoughts about artificial intelligence. As you all know, today, for these years and the years to come, we are talking about technology. And when we talk about technology, in that sense, we are talking about artificial intelligence. And it's rightly so, because artificial intelligence is leading today. It's leading in everything. Really in everything. We do not need to give examples. It is leading in everything. And the first thing is just to have the proper tools. You have seen the way we started. Because if we do not have the right tools, we cannot go into that field of artificial intelligence. So some thoughts I am going to share with you are based on that topic. The crisis of human identity vis-a-vis the technological evolution or artificial intelligence. I do not know if you are sure about human identity. Because here we are trying to say, and many people do say, that there is a crisis. To say, as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, we do not know where we are. And if we do not know where we are, for sure, we do not know who we are. Because this evolution, technological evolution, is changing a lot. Not everything is changing a lot. This is technical, it is not my competence. What I know is philosophy of these things. So, to come to the conclusion, I would like to talk first, to give you an idea about artificial things or objects. So this is what I have in the second slide. So what I am trying to say here, when we talk about intelligence, what are we talking about? So this is not an exhaustive definition, but it gives you the idea about what intelligence is. This ability to learn, to understand, to reason, to solve problems. So this is an indication, because again in philosophy, we are not dogmatic. We are able to think. So this definition, you can infuse it, and rightly so. You may improve it, rightly so, because we are in philosophy. We are not in dogmatic theology. You know about it. So it involves planning, abstract thinking, learning from experience. And about human identity, I am again suggesting that philosophically speaking, human identity will be rooted in intellect and will. So this is the core of it. But when we go into sociology, we say that we can have social identity. We can have religious identity. So identities may be diverse. But here, I want just to talk about this core of it so that we are able to focus. And since we are philosophers, we will know what we are talking about. Here, I'm talking about almost the soul or the self to be at the core of human identity. And this will help me to progress, sure, without, as I said, being lost into some details. Technological evolution kind of technology I am talking about here. I am talking about two things, computers and robots. And I will limit myself only with those. And actually, when we talk about artificial intelligence, we are talking about these two, computers and robots, and their systems. Because artificial intelligence is mainly about the software programs. So the questions here will be in relation with how AI affects relationships and social structures. So I am trying to talk about the crisis we are talking about. Impacts on identity and self-perception, how we understand ourselves, ethical concerns, future of work, human purpose. Because here we will say that in a few years, thousands of jobs will be destroyed by artificial intelligence. And it is true. It's not a mistake. It's true. Of course, we hope that so many others will be created. And some say more jobs will be created, will be more than those destroyed by artificial intelligence. So the truth is, the jobs which are repetitive, routine, data processing tasks are most vulnerable to automation. So we have to be trained and have knowledge, reliable skills, because the power or the physical energy will be very, very useless in the future. Even in the military, now they are saying that because of AI, they will not need troops. To have thousands of men on the ground will be useless because they use technology. So, ontology of artificial objects, here, even the image you have it, just to give you the idea of artificial objects, when we are saying artificial objects. Because you have natural objects and artificial ones. So here we have human-made tools serving specific ends, like a knife for cutting. Objects with symbolic meaning, like books. Objects expressing intellectual intention, like poems. Physical aids integrated into the body, prosthesis, what we call prothesis. These objects which are inserted into the body for some purposes. We'll come back to that. Everyday support objects like money, computers, crafts, institutional objects, universities, markets, and governments. So I will come back in the following slide on institutional objects because they are very specific, especially when we talk about how we understand reality, about what we understand about abstraction. Because when we say university, what are we talking about? A university are not houses. A university are not just students. A university are not just classrooms, books. A university is something which is abstract, even if it is complete as well. We need programs and a combination of so many things to have a university. Ontological status of institutions require abstraction, transcend individual persons, created by practical reason. So these are created by practical reason. Someone at first, I don't know if you agree that the first one who created university will be Plato with the academy. If we agree, that guy will be very, very important in thinking to create an institution. But this one has been improved in time to have the university we have today. And actually, when you have seen a major seminary like this one, you have no idea about what a university is. Because universities are institutions which are very, very complicated. And some of these very small ones are manageable. But if you see a university with 100,000 students, you imagine how this can be governed. And it does. It is governed, it functions. When you are director or the vice chancellor, depending on the system, to ask to a student, who is your rector? In a university with 100,000 students. Just a waste of time. Even professors do not know the rector. No need. They do not need him. For what? The rector for what? They have their head of department. It's enough. The rector is there, doesn't even know how many departments does the university. And it's normal, it's okay, it's not a problem. Because it's a very, very huge institution which is created by practical reason. Typology of institution, no objects, we have relational forms like languages, social groups, legal codes. Because as you know, universities are governed not by people, but by policies, rules. They give you a policy and they forget about you. You go and do what is in the policy. And it works. So institutions and collective action, personal actions, like eating, thinking, collective actions, building a house, acting on behalf of a group, like the president signing a contract or contracts. So these are here to give us the idea of how we go about objects. And when we come to robots and computers, we'll be able to understand what we are talking about. Computers as information processors. So they process information. They do not create information. They process it. But they can also combine information and come up with something which is new. They do not create it. But the programs they have can be combined and bring out something new. So these are not natural objects. They are artificial. Transform information, not energy. This you can understand. We have input, which is processed into the memory, and then an output, which may seem like a decision. So the information is given, is processed, it is stored in the memory, and then there comes an output, which is a decision from a machine. Exceeds human calculating capacity. So here we see where our fear comes from. Because computers are far beyond our capacity to calculate. If you see a very simple calculator, you put in just figures, you have a very, very huge sum of numbers. Mental calculation cannot go very far, and you will struggle with 10 multiplied by 17. Probably because 10 it's much easier. At 11, 12, and 19 it becomes a bit difficult. So it depends. Their foundation is algorithms, because they are sequences in machines, sequences. So it is a very, very good logic. You cannot say that you will be more logical than a machine, because these machines are deductive, not inductive. Inductive reasoning belongs to humans. Machines, of course, humans do both, inductive and deductive. Machines use only deductive, and they are very logical. So they are designed to support and extend human capacity. So this probably will be also some kind of conclusion, because we will know that these machines are instruments. They are here to help us, to extend our intellectual capacity, to extend it, not to change it or to replace it. So computers, these limits of machine rationality, computers do not understand. Their intelligence is potential, activated by human interpretation. Without human intention, they remain mere material tools. So machines simulate reasoning, but lack interiority, self-awareness, and freedom. And I think this will stand for long. Of course, you will see that in social media, materialists, philosophical materialists, they are philosophical and scientific, they refuse this kind of self-awareness and freedom. Actually, they say even human beings do not have any freedom at all. They are just like machines. So we cannot follow those. So we come to the idea of machine operations versus human identity. So machines store information, of course, calculate, translate, simulate. Robots can imitate emotions, like these Sophias we have on the road. They can simulate emotions. But this is simulating, it's imitating, but do not possess them. So they have no interiority, like I or self. A computer cannot say I or me. It's impossible. Because a computer is not subjective. It's just objective. It's an object. Depending on external programming, a human person does program a computer, a robot. It does not program itself. Humans possess the will, love, conscience, and purpose. So we do things because we know. Sometimes we know, some other times we don't know. But when we do not know what we are doing, I think in that moment we are not humans. Because to be a human is to be conscious of what you are doing. When there is no consciousness, you become like a machine or a zombie. Zombies, the created beings, imagined beings without conscience. So we are not zombies. The next. So here I want to give an idea about the limits and the usefulness of artificial intelligence. So they are limited, but they are very, very useful. And this is why we cannot avoid using them. If we are around or two traditionalists, and we resist this revolution, we will be lost. And for good. Because these things are here to stay. Gentlemen, these are here to stay. And they have to be used. In schools, I don't know here, but where I am, at INES, there is always a fight with the students because they are using ChatGPT. Or DeepSeek. But this is a lost war. We cannot win. They have to use them. So, professors or lecturers, they have to change their minds and teach in a different way. Do exams in a different way. Otherwise, students will use ChatGPT. There is no other way. Because these are here to stay, to be with us, to help us. So, So humans and machines, they are not equal ontologically. So we are mistaken when we try to compare these machines with human beings. It is wrong to compare them. Anyway, something can be compared, but just something. It's just to compare an elephant and a rock. Anyway, I think the only thing you can say, they are all beings. If you are in philosophy, because without a philosophy, you cannot talk about beings. Humans have freedom, conscience, moral responsibility. And this idea of moral responsibility will only remain with human beings. And it is very important when we talk about artificial intelligence, moral responsibility. Because if you are confused by artificial intelligence, it is because you want to be confused. This is not the mistake of the computer, of robot. It is our responsibility because we are the ones to create them. To give programs, to put the programs into them. So critical attitudes, there have been in the past, the years 1980s, this kind of historical skepticism or resistance. I think only in the past, in the church, some in the Catholic Church tried to resist internet. They say, no, what occasion, bishop, not going to use email. No, go to internet. No. Serious bishop, no. And they started because the Vatican imposed it. It was an imposition to the bishops' dioceses. Please use internet. They had refused, saying, no, this is satanic. But now they are using it and they have discovered that it is not satanic. It's just a normal tool which can be used. So consciousness remains subjective and human. So we are here trying to make this difference between human beings and machines and robots and computers. Artificial intelligence must remain human-centered. Here to say human-centered is to say humans are supposed to be leaders, to guide them. They have always to make reference to the human intellect, because humans will be governing them. Metaphysics, morality, religion are purely human domains. A computer will never do metaphysics. No. We will not discuss freedom and liberty. Discuss if we are free or not. There is a guy who come just to him, called the Isaac. He created rules for computers. Computers cannot just follow rules. But if you put in a program, yes, they use it, but they will not be conscious of using this program because it is required. No, they will be just using it. Human intelligence vis-a-vis computational rationality. Again, we are trying to continue to underline this fact that there is this ontological difference between a human being and an object, an artificial object. Only humans know ends, values, and principles. Just to continue the idea that a computer cannot do metaphysics. Computers have efficiency, not wisdom or intuition. They are very, very efficient, these machines. But only humans are able to evaluate situations. Say, no, this guy has made a mistake, but he was good anyway. So we can give him another chance. The computer will never understand that. So if it is it is programmed. Say, if you do this, you are out. It will follow it. In this sense, in Europe they said that Germans will be very good at artificial intelligence because they are like artificial intelligence themselves. They just have rules and they act according to those rules. And actually, even when you look at their language, the German language, it's a very, very logical language. And Germans are very logical. This is why they are very good in technology, especially mechanics. They are very good. You see, they are vehicles. They are, at least vehicles which are German invention. They are very good. You know? The Mercedes. You see this Volkswagen. They are very good vehicles. Now they add some water in it so that they can continue making more. Otherwise, before they use it to make a vehicle which will last for 100 years. They said, no, this is not serious. If you make a vehicle which will last 100 years, this means the enterprise is going to close. So they're going to continue making. You make vehicles because some are being discarded from circulation, and you make new ones. Artificial intelligence is always an instrument. Always an instrument to be used. Not to use us. Only they use us if we are not careful. If humans depend blindly on artificial intelligence, it reveals human limits. So we will be very limited if we leave these objects command over us. We have to command over them. Interpretation of computational results is a human responsibility. So they process information, and when they come to the results, humans are the ones to know what to do with that. If they give you figures, are you ready to follow the figures? If they are in your best interest, you can use them. If you see that they are not helping you in your life, you reject them. It's fine. Now, human mastery, to master them, because they are good, usefulness, and our master. Artificial intelligence supports human capability, especially in hard sciences. Because in hard sciences, we need artificial intelligence very much in physics, in biology, especially when you enter into medicine. Artificial intelligence will send home so many doctors. They will need very, very few, because in operation rooms, they will have 2 or 3 robots to operate everyone. Only one doctor just to command them, to tell them what to do. Otherwise, they will do their job. But in human sciences, their help is very limited due to human freedom. Because when you go into education, for example, what I said also in philosophy, when you have a child in front of you, so to this child, to educate the child, you need to know a bit of the background, the parents. If the mother is alcoholic, you cannot take this child like any other. Like the one who didn't have a very nice mother who was caring. So, a computer cannot know the difference. It will be very difficult for a computer. But for a human being, this is why human sciences, it will be very, very difficult. To use artificial intelligence with prudence and wisdom, because they are instruments, just like a knife. If you have a very good knife and you do not use it well, it will cut you. And you don't break the knife. If it doesn't cut you, cannot break it. You are the one to be responsible for your misfortune. And then when we come to robotic ethics, we have issues with humanoids and simulated ethics. Because when we have these robots, like in Japan, you know that up to now, Japan is the best in robotics in the world. Japanese are very good. So they have some humanoids, as they call them, the robots which can imitate human beings. You see a robot, you think it's just a human being. Even speaking, greeting you, just discussing a bit with you at the entrance of a supermarket, just you have the impression this is a human being. Actually, it's a machine, it's a robot. So, we do not know exactly what they will create tomorrow, but the principles will remain the same. This is where this Asimov Isaac created some rules. Said robots do not have to harm anyone. Robots have to obey humans, and they have to protect themselves. So this is just to tell you that people try to go or to overcome these difficulties, these challenges, because they some believe in artificial intelligence in such a way that they tell us that tomorrow, after tomorrow, they will be exactly like human beings and go beyond our capacities. And I am here advocating that that is not true. They will never overtake us. Yes, in calculation, yes, but only in that. When we think of what I say about freedom, love, religion, responsibility, they will never do. So real ethics requires wisdom, not algorithms. Humans regulate informatics, not vice versa. So I continue to insist on that one. So we also have human-computer interface and bioengineering. So you have an image there. Those biochips, there are many kinds of them. And some now they are trying to put them into the body of human beings, like in the head, and improve their capacity to learn. And this is being done. They put them, and your memory is like the memory of a computer. So you can memorize everything. You go to class, you memorize everything. During the exam, you reproduce everything. Yes, they are trying it. Is it ethically acceptable? It's a good question. There are some others, like, you know that there are some biochips they put in the body of a woman so that she may not get pregnant. Even here in Rwanda they do that. And it works. Because the information which is in that chip is able to disturb hormones. And the conception is impossible. So they do that. But they do not tell us what that chip is disturbing in the body. And some do not even know. You ask a good scientist to do that to his wife, a child, he will tell you, no. That's, Africans are having many children, just go and do it in Africa. But also in Europe, some are volunteers for that, because they believe in science and artificial intelligence. They want to prove that this is true. And they do it. So we have ethical challenges in bio-integration. They want to create superhumans. Not that one of Nietzsche, no. They have a new version of super humans. And they do not know what that Superman will do. Probably he will be very, very powerful and kill all of us. They do not know. You will see that in the films. Some films, they create those and we see what they do. So they are imagining what can happen. Technology must serve the person, not dominate them. Let's go to the next. Yes. Creativity and learning. About creativity, I will come back to this idea that creativity belongs only to human beings. Machines generate novelty, yes, but to creativity is human. Humans create in art. They create in art. They study beauty. But you will see that even artificial intelligence may make very, very good, improved art objects. Really. There are some even today complaining about these paintings of Michelangelo. They bring artificial intelligence and it produces even better than what Michelangelo did. But it's just imitating. It's not inventing, it's just imitating. It's an imitation, it's not a proper invention. Machines generate robot, yes. Humans create in art, culture, and meaning. Artificial intelligence can elevate human creativity, not repress it. About learning, artificial intelligence learns autonomously. Yes, it's true. It can learn autonomously also. So you see, the challenge is there. It can learn. It can receive, of course, it receives a program which will allow the machine to learn, and at the end, you will see that it knows more. Is it knowing? But it has more information. Let us limit ourselves to information, because when we say it knows, I think we would be going outside of their competence. But without intentionality. Intentionality, again here, I am using this word intentionality in the sense of being aware and deciding that you are going to do this. So it is your own decision. You intend to do it on your own. Not another person to give it into you, to put it into you like we do for machines. Humans learn why, not just how. And to artificial intelligence, you will see the answer is directed to the question how. And this is why in science, artificial intelligence is the key, is fundamental to works. When you have the question why, the machine will not be able to act. This is why even in schools, even here, the true question is the question why. Because when you say something and someone asks you why, you have to think. Before you say nonsense, you have to think. But what is your how? Well, you can say anything. It's okay. Learning forms character. habitus. In humans, in a machine, because there is no intentionality, the character would not be formed. Because when you are undergoing formation, the character comes because you have accepted this kind of formation. If you do not accept, the character will not come. It's like just telling you, but you seminarians, you do not have to drink. If you accept it intentionally to work, if you say, no, those are just ways. You continue drinking, you hide yourself, continue drinking, hiding. And you see the consequences at the end. But they say, no, but you see, during the formation, they have been saying it so many times. Changing is very difficult. So some will say it's impossible. It is impossible because you do not make it, you do not make it yours. You do not accept it. There was no intentionality. So informatics learns. Cognition and moral intention remain human. The next one, connectionism and neural networks. So, this is a kind of imitation of what is the human brain, which is taken and put into machines. So there are networks which do work. And these are done especially when you look at markets or loans. When they say, this year there will not be any return because the loan given to the people will not be recovered. So they are, when they use artificial intelligence, they make networks which generate solutions and help them to decide. And it works. So they are imitating the neurons in the human brain. So new computational paradigms, we have artificial neurons, artificial neural networks. Parallel processing inspired by the brain. Connectionism in nature and humans, so there is a parallelism. Artificial reproduction of natural processes, which is limited, of course. Computers rely on deduction. Humans use induction and deduction, as I said before. True intelligence rests in induction and natural phenomena. About the ontological aspects, we have neural networks which still require human interpretation. Information lacks certainty in complex domains like weather and markets. When this meteor one tells us, you see, tomorrow from 6 to 12, it will rain heavily with thunders, and in the morning there is a sun. I said, but this is nice. They said out of rain. No, we do not have even a drop of it. The problem is artificial intelligence. Because about the weather, it's not reliable. And you cannot blame them. The tools they are using are those. They were told that the situation was going to be like that, and they have announced it. But artificial intelligence, in that matter, is not reliable. Because the data it has may change abruptly. The weather, with the wind and the heat, it changes. About markets, you have no money, so you are not interested in markets. Here when we talk about markets, we are talking about this issue of the capital market. So you have shares and you are just monitoring how your shares are going up. And you see something happens, Trump says something, and all is brought down. Some have a heart attack and die. And they are now using artificial intelligence to monitor that, and they make a lot of mistakes. Knowledge requires psychic and biological processes, and these are exclusively human. So my time is rushing. Next one. Okay. So we are concluding. So some concluding reflections. So I come back to the title of my talk this evening. So the issue is not who is more intelligent between artificial intelligence and humans. So that is not the issue. Because we cannot compare humans with machines ontologically. In some aspects, yes, but ontologically we cannot. So, but what kind of intelligence each has? So, machines will have this calculating, processing kind of intelligence. Humans, their specificity will be in ethics, in wisdom, in responsibility. This is why we say we need always these machines, because they help us to do what we do in a better way. So human intelligence guides and illuminates technological intelligence. Artificial intelligence remains logical, quantitative, and instrumental. Computers cannot operate in metaphysics, as I said, morality, or religion. Therefore, human identity is not in crisis and will not be repressed. So what I'm trying to say is that when I say, when people say that human identity is in a crisis, we have to try to understand what they mean. We are in a kind of confusion because of not ontological reality, our social life, the way we live. They say that artificial intelligence is going to destroy thousands of jobs. We are in panic. What is going to happen to us? And this is why in Japan, believing in robotics, they say we do not want people. Those who have enough, we do not need more. Computers cannot operate in metaphysics, of course, therefore, human identity is not in a crisis. This is what I was talking about. But somehow, in some aspects, we can be in crisis because we have decided so to be in crisis. But human identity is not. Because our identity, when we go back to this core fact of human identity, philosophically, which is in the intellectually we, there is no crisis at all. But socially speaking, we may have problems. This is why, in our church, the Catholic Church, we have to make sure that we are in these things. And the first thing we need good tools to use. I am not advocating for a computer lab here. No, that is not my business. But what I'm saying is that if we do not use these tools, you will be lost. Because even in our apostolic life, in our pastoral work, we are going to use artificial intelligence. Yeah, you didn't hear the president saying that they have to go and pray with the telephone. Is it lying? No, it's true. We have to. Of course, we also need an open church, but the telephone will be also used. Do we have it? If we have it, do we know to use it? So this is the question you have to answer. The future. Humans should focus on skills artificial intelligence cannot replace. So we have to know those skills. Please do not think that you'll be a secretary. The computer will do it. I talked about medical doctors. Be very few. An accountant. This is the work of artificial intelligence. We do not need accountants, you know. So at universities, some departments of course. But they open others. In computer science, we have more than 1,000 students doing computer science. And what is going on? And those who have been here 3-4 years ago, they did not have more than 100 students. Now more than 1,000. What is going on? In good public administration and good governance, they used to have more than 1,500. Now we have 30 students. Only 30. So looking at the situation, we see the changes coming. And those doing computer science, they have jobs now. But if everyone will do computer science, I don't know.
Nise barugaba yakabiyu buto